Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Oh my goodness. Oh, we have a fun show tonight, or it's going to be a disaster and I'm going to be disowned by a very large YouTuber. But we don't know yet because we haven't even started the show, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't even know yet. I guess I should unmute you. What's going on? And Wrangler sends in the first super chat of the night for $4.20. Says, don't leave. Oh, man. I am very excited for this interview tonight because will get into that in a few, but I'm going to take just a quick minute. I'm going to say hello to Hail the Lord, Central Viral, A-Lord Corey, Lightbox, Zombie Ninja Ted 6, what's going on? Addy Vlogs or Gaming, Liu, Dano Hasho. It is good to see everybody in the chat. Chevy Boy, what's going on? I am absolutely excited. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a YouTuber that up until a few weeks ago, I was unfamiliar with, but I'm hoping to become more familiar with him tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Zaffy. Zaffy, why don't you introduce yourself to the chat and tell us who you are.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you, Zaffy, Cinema Vigilante here. Not much to know. I'm just a dude who loves movies and likes to make content about them and occasionally take the fight to an industry that I feel wants to tear apart the art form that I love so much. So, yeah, that's me. I'm a bit schizophrenic. I'm a bit high at times, but I try to get past it. And I won't go too crazy because I don't want to get my good friend's channel demonetized here. But yeah, that's me.
So as I was telling you in the pre-show, while we're getting ready and checking audio and all that, a subscriber of mine and a Discord member of my channel was like, "Hey, dude, you should interview Zaffy."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "All right," and I was like, "Oh, I've never heard of this guy." And he sent me the video where you were breaking down how the Avengers could have absolutely won in Infinity War, and I'm watching it, and the first impressions that I get, I'm like, okay. He's got the mask on. He's doing all this stuff. Okay, what's going on here? And my first impressions of you is like, okay, he's coming across as like the underground leader, little bit of conspiracy theorist here. Just the way that you presented yourself and you've kind of developed this character as a content creator. How did you decide? That's so unique in the space of talking about movies. Because usually it's just somebody like me, because I've done it in the past, to be like, well, this movie kind of sucked. And the reason it kind of sucked is because of all the bad writing. And you're like, no, I'm going to have this character and I'm going to invest in. Like, how did you come up with the character, with the mask, with everything that you wear? Where did that idea come from?
There's nothing really... how do I say this? It's not really a character. The only difference between this and me is the mask and the suit.
Oh.
This really is me. I really do want... I have a mission. I'm a bit insane, my friend. I'm a bit insane.
Good.
I tend to get into fights with people I deem as criminals on the streets, so I deem myself a vigilante in that regard. And I was like, why don't I just take the fight to Hollywood in general? I had no plans to wear this specific mask. It started off with like a mask I found in my closet. Deathstroke. It was a Deathstroke mask. It was the only mask I had that could fit me properly. People think like Slade Wilson's my favorite character ever, and I love him, but it was just the mask I had. I wish it was more symbolic than that. But then people and me, I was like, I want to make this my own, and I feel like I'm going to get copyright struck by somebody. So I decided to make the mask my own and do my own thing with it. So everything is it is mostly me. The only thing that's different is the current mask I'm wearing. I try not to wear this every minute of the day, obviously, because it'll smell, which it already does.
Dude, that's awesome though. But I love that you did that, like, because it is unique. It does bring a certain flavor to your channel and your content and what you're doing. I will say this, one of the things that I noticed that but again, watching that video for the first time. So I'm coming at you as like a relatively new person to your channel, and you actually just did oh God, I'm so glad you made me so happy when you talked about Fast and the Furious the other day. Oh, I I have many things I could say about that, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about you. But you have a voice cadence that really fits with the mask thing that you're doing. And I don't know if you realize that or if like you just made the mask fit your voice because of just how you're breaking things down.
Yeah, I don't really know. It is I don't like my voice. I find my voice very cringe. When I look at my recordings back, I think we
Hmm.
can all relate to this.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
I just I just can't see myself. I do come from a little bit of an acting background, so I'm able to project my voice a bit dramatically at times. There is that.
From the
It's I don't want to
diaphragm.
say, yeah, I don't want to say it like I'm performing because I do start rambling and then I get heated and then I have no idea what I'm doing. It just is the way I do, but I have learned to project my voice in public speaking and then performance and theater stuff I've done in the past. So yeah, I've been all up and down this goddamn art form that I love so much, film. So I think it comes from that too.
So wait, so what did you do when it came to like acting and performance and stuff like that? Where did you, is that like a school thing
It was
or
more, yeah, it was more school thing. I did do a couple of short film stuff with friends and stuff, and other people I knew. I sent in audition tapes to various things that never, never got through. I wish there's just some things I wish that I'd went through earlier in the career, but I never went into acting. I never went into directing because I didn't see a future in that for me. I didn't see a future in film. My parents and everyone around me always said, "Don't do that. Go into law, doctor, real estate, businessman, everything that people around me were doing." So
right?
I was discouraged from doing it, but I'm obsessed with it. But I love theater, I love performance, I love. I think the first time I ever dabbled in it was high school drama and improv, but then I took a performance course in university where I would monologue as if I was a character from a movie, and people were very surprised because I had a depth of knowledge when it came to just certain mannerisms that other people in my school didn't really have. I mean, not in school, but in the class. So I just obsess over this stuff a lot. I obsess over how people act in films. So it's not really a skill difference. I don't really have talent. It's all I think about. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to drill content every single day. So this is all I think about. So yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So, okay, I mean, this leads me naturally this question, like you've been in plays, you like, do you have a favorite play? Is there something that got you into it? Is like how did you get into it?
Um so before I was a movie guy, I was a big comic book superhero guy. Those are the only movies I really, really loved.
Hmm.
Didn't really love a lot of movies when I was a kid. The Dark Knight was the first film that made me look at performances different because of Heath Ledger and the Joker. Um,
I
yeah,
can I mhm.
it's my favorite movie ever. And I think there was an
It's a
M
good
Night
one.
Shyamalan movie that called Signs that my cousin showed me when I was a little kid. And
I
yeah,
yes.
yeah, that was more of a scary film, and I was scared shitless by that movie. But it got me into movies. Those were the two movies that really set the precedent for me when it came to film. That made me think of film beyond just like superhero stuff.
Dude, that's so cool. You know, it was so funny too is like with Signs. Signs is Signs is one of those movies that's just kind of like
Especially,
ironic. It's like I would call Signs like ironically good, especially because M. Night Shyamalan kind of fucking
yeah,
sucks. Like, but he's got a few gems, and Signs was one of them because you watch it and some people are like, well, this movie, this movie, that. I'm like, no, dude, shut up. Like that is a great movie. Signs is a fantastic movie. That came out with that Signs came out when I was getting closer to high school. But uh man, what an interesting two picks for The Dark Knight and then obviously Signs getting you into movies. I can't fault you for those at all. So like
there's a lot
what
of cinephiles who have different picks than me. Obviously, I'm a geek and a nerd before a straight up cinephile. Who looks into the full nuances of film. There's a lot of films that critics love that I don't love as much. Like I'm very much like I have a very different opinion than most of the critics, but I think a lot of
Well,
critics still,
critics are retarded, so we
yeah,
don't need to pay attention to them.
yeah, pretty much.
Dude, so that's awesome. Um, eh, so what you said you're a geek and a nerd first.
Hmm.
Take me through that journey. How do you become a geek and a nerd first? Where's that start for you?
There were just things that caught my mind more than anything else. Like Alien and Predator, I was a fan of that when I was a child. No child should be obsessed with xenomorphs and predators as much as I was, especially with the as a kid seeing all that violence in those movies. But that didn't deter me. That was all I could think about. Then Underworld as well, vampires and werewolves. There were just monsters that I really liked,
Hmm.
I was obsessed with, and then there were superheroes. So those were like the two things for me.
Right.
And then from there, it branched out into the more film. My genre tastes have changed over the years, but those are the things that really have stayed steady. Like I'll always go back to super. Like that'll be the thing. I'll pay a lot of money to see those IPs done really well. Unfortunately, they're not done very well nowadays. But
Sadly.
yeah.
Sadly. No, I noticed especially as the MCU because I think I watched the first like Iron Man. This was before the MCU. I was in high school working at the time. I think I saw Iron Man 3 times in theaters. And I watched it I went and saw it by myself and I was like, "Oh my God, this is one of the greatest like superhero movies ever."
Great movie.
And at the time it was.
Mhm.
And then I got my brother to go see it with me. And then I told my buddies, I was like, "Guys, we got to go see this movie together." And so we went, we actually saw a late night showing of it as well, because I could not get enough of it in the theaters. It was, it really was a game changing at the time. And it's like, as it went on and as like, I don't even think it was just because it just kept going, it got worse. It's because like the culture changed and what people thought that, the superhero genre should be, what the MCU should be. Really, I mean, there's still a few gems in there. Don't get me wrong. Winter Soldier is still up there for sure. But there was something special about Iron Man and how it kicked off superheroes for the rest of the world,
Mhm.
and how people go, "Oh my God, wait, these are superheroes? This is the stuff in the comics?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like, that's why I grew up on the cartoons.
Mhm.
I still remember the Iron Man cartoon from the 90s,
Yeah.
growing up watching that.
Mhm.
And it's so interesting to see just how it's just devolved into the garbage writing, the political BS that they want to throw into it, and they're just beating you over the head with this stuff that you don't want. Because in Iron Man, it was a dude who made a suit, and he broke out in a cheap suit, and then he built a better suit, and then he fought a guy with a different suit, and that's all it was. Like, Iron Man was such a good story for that reason, and they shit the bed.
They did. They did. I don't really know what the future of the MCU is. I don't really care for any of the projects that are coming out. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. The new Avengers movie, like, I don't think that many people really give a damn about it. I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like the hype is like 1/5 of what it should be. So, yeah.
I Endgame Endgame killed the MCU for me. I hate Endgame
Oh,
as
really?
a plot, as a story.
Mhm.
I don't I'm already very wary about time travel shenanigans and stuff. There are only two moments that I like in Endgame, and outside of that, the rest of the movie is hot garbage for me, and that's basically where I jumped off. Because I could not believe the writing in Infinity War was fairly solid. The character interactions were fairly solid. It was all kind of like Infinity War as a movie in and of itself, it stands on its own. You don't even need the rest of the MCU to say that Infinity War is good. Endgame is just member berries the movie. And it's like and that really took me out of it. And it was like the longer I thought about it, the more I just really didn't like that movie. And I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm out. I'm done with the MCU. Like, I don't think that they're going to be able to save this,
Mhm.
and I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about Endgame?
I enjoyed it a lot at the time, but not on a critical level. It's because I was a geek and it was a love letter to people like me who are fans of stuff, like seeing Captain America wield Mjolnir's hammer and seeing them fight Thanos and all that. It's just
Yep.
stuff I was a fan of, like on like a comic book, fan of the characters level. It was because of that. But yeah, it's got major problems. It's definitely is the Infinity War is miles ahead. Civil War is miles ahead. Winter Soldier is miles ahead. The
Oh
first
God.
Guardians is miles ahead. Like it's not top 5 or top 10 material. There's definitely films that are beyond it. It has issues. I feel like it's kind of I feel like the multiverse stuff and the timeline stuff really kind of tanked the MCU ever since they try to dabble with that and dabble with cameos. They just don't know how to do it. Like it's even with Deadpool and Wolverine. Like I enjoyed that film, but I'm not going to rewatch it and like it the same way, because once you realize that the only thing you liked about it was the nostalgia the most, when it comes down to it, really that is what it is. You're bringing Hugh Jackman back because you get to see, it's the Wolverine, it's Hugh Jackman, it's doing his thing with Deadpool. You're seeing Elektra back and all these people. Gambit's coming back. Like it is member berry. So I don't know. I feel like there was one Marvel movie I enjoy a little bit. I can't remember which one it was, but it was. I remember distinctly enjoying it because it didn't have anything to do with that timeline multiverse shit. But again, that's the thing. It's really hard to remember what movies I enjoy from this 5-year period, because you don't really have films that stand out like that. So yeah.
The only movie that I watched after that. So we've got background on me. Married, married, been with my wife for 15 years now. Well, we've been married for 12 years, but we've been together for 15. We've got 4 kids together. So us to go actually see the movies, it's an expensive deal.
Yeah.
The one movie that I go see after, because I watched Endgame at the house and I was like, but the one movie that I went and saw was Spider-Man No Way Home, where you get all of the Spider-Men together, which, by the way, Andrew Garfield did the best in that. I was shocked. I was shocked how good he did.
He's the best actor of the 3. I've been saying this for years and no one's believed. Like people are seeing it now, but yeah.
I mean, people believe yeah. But we get out of the movie, we get in the truck, and we're driving back home, and I asked the kids, because I'm so excited because the kids get to see a movie with my Spider-Man,
Toby.
And Toby. Oh yeah, with my Spider-Man. Oh dude, no, I still have my release day Spider-Man DVD with the special 10 hours of background footage on that, which is what got me into the behind the scenes of movies.
Yeah. Spider-Man 1 especially has a great behind the scenes when they show you the making of the suit and the action scenes is awesome.
Yeah. And my sister bought that. Well, the funny thing is that movie was released on my birthday that year, and my sister bought it for me the day it released. And I still have the copy. My sons watched it. And so we take them to see Spider-Man No Way Home. And I asked the kids, I'm like, hey guys, what did you think of the Spider-Man movie? And all my kids are like, yeah, no, it was good. It was cool. It was fun. And I'm like, okay. And my second daughter, because we have a daughter, son, daughter. So my second daughter, she goes, but it was kind of long though. And all of my kids go, yeah, it was kind of long. And then they just go back into talking about whatever they're talking about. And I was like, I will never watch this movie again, because my daughter is right. Yeah. It was long. And the fact that the length and the bloat of the movie overshadows the good parts, it bothers me. And I don't think I'm ever going to go back and watch that movie again, because I remember thinking the first 45 minutes, I was like, okay, can we please just get into the movie, please? And I don't know if I want to slog through that again. And not only that, how can you make a Spider-Man movie and my children were young at the time. My oldest was 11. So from 11 years old to 7 years old, and you make a movie that 11-year-olds and 7-year-olds, their big takeaway is it's long, you fucked up.
Yeah.
If you can't get kids excited about a Spider-Man movie, you fucked up.
Yeah, I think Endgame suffered from this problem too with bloat. It just felt like I tried to rewatch Endgame in theaters because I brought a friend who hadn't seen it, and even I was like, oh my god, man, the middle half when they're going through the various time periods, this is just not a well structured script. No Way Home, the length wasn't as much of an issue for me. It's rewatchability. Like
Mhm.
it's not you could do the length. It's because once you know what's coming and once you see all the jokes and all this, that's the big problem. The MCU is reliant on quips, jokes,
Mhm.
cameos. Those things get old after the first watch. They're great in the first watch because like, oh, nostalgia and dopamine's hitting and it all feels great. But then after you're like, I don't really need to rewatch this. It's just not rewatchability is huge with me, man. Like
Oh yeah.
rewatchability, that's what dictates what my favorite movies are. And
Oh,
Marvel doesn't have that right now.
I 100% agree. Good night, Aragmar Varillion. Have a good one, man. Hope you enjoy this. No, I 100% agree with you. I am actually the type of person that I will go watch spoiler reviews for a movie that I'm interested in. And some people disagree with me because a lot of people don't like spoilers. I don't care. But I have always said if the spoilers ruin the movie for you, it has no rewatchability.
Mm.
And I'm very staunch in that. And people have disagreed with me and they're like, no, but you should be able to experience it for the first time. And this like I'm like, guys, if I'm hearing somebody talk about spoilers, that's a very different medium than sitting down and watching how it all plays out. And if spoilers are like, oh, this happens, and if me knowing what's gonna happen doesn't, and I'm like, oh my god, I know what's coming up, and I don't get goosebumps, the movie has no rewatchability. And there are a lot of people that disagree with me on that.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from because there's a difference between if a movie has if there's a spoiler talk, and they're describing the spoilers, their description of the spoilers should not be able to represent the film itself. The film itself should
Yep.
stand on its own. Like the entertainment value of the film,
Yeah.
the quality of it should speak for itself. I understand that. It depends on specific movies. For me, like if it's a movie where it's reliant on the twist at the end or the big
Oh,
mystery, then obviously that's different.
yeah. I agree. I
Yeah.
can. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from on that. I try to avoid spoilers for the big films that I've been looking forward to. Like Weapons was another one, but the problem with Weapons was, even though I liked the film, it was very underwhelming twist for me because I just had so many ideas of what it could have been. I feel like a lot of my ideas. I hate to say this, but I feel like a lot of my ideas are just better than what Hollywood has because I don't think Hollywood, when they're writing these things, I don't think they're incentivized to think bigger picture or think more complex or even cosmic horror or Lovecraftian because I don't think maybe it's a producer thing and a writing thing too. I just don't every time I see them with a premise that's beautiful, they end it in a way that ruins it all. I just don't understand. Him did the same
I
thing with the recent horror movie Him.
I've got a theory for you, and it's something. This is not an original idea, but I heard this, and I was like, oh man, and it's like, God, I wish I could remember where I heard this from, but it's like, current movie writers are a generation of people that grew up and the only books they've ever read was Harry Potter.
Okay, so here's
No, you're good.
I haven't read a lot of books, all right? So I'm not gonna claim to be on a high horse compared to these people.
Yeah.
I think there is a generational problem. I think there's nepo baby problem as well. There's a lot of nepotism.
Oh. Mhm.
I think there's mini rooms where there's a big mini room problem where they'll take writers that are less expensive, put them in a room, and none of these writers will be as talented or be incentivized to be as skilled as the writers they could have paid more for. So they want writers that they can control and won't give them a hassle. That's what producers want at the end of the day. So that's the writing is the single biggest issue with movies nowadays. There's a third act problem with every movie I've seen in the last 5 years. They don't know how to complete their films. They have a good premise and it all goes to shit. The pacing, the flow of the movies is off. I truly believe writing is the biggest issue. You can have films that are well directed and look good. There are many movies that look nice. We have the technology to make anything look cinematic and great.
Yep.
But these movies are shit. Not because they're directed horribly or they're not good looking and beautiful. The production quality is there. The cinematography is there. It's directed well. The writing is gone. You could, no amount of star power will make up for the writing. The writing, there's something wrong with, there's something off with the writing teams, and we've seen it. The amount of strikes that have been happening, right? Writers are on strike. Writers don't give a shit anymore. I truly think writers do not care, and the ones that do care are not skilled. They're not talented. They're here because of either nepotism or it's just what the producers want to throw out the ones that are more expensive or whatever other factor it might be. It's just pathetic. I don't know what to say. The writing is pathetic.
It's bad. Ultimate, can I see the super chat? I will grab the super chats at the end of the show this evening. So if you guys do send in super chats or questions for Zaffy, I am watching the chat and I will make sure to get those in there. So that way, you guys, if you have your questions for your favorite YouTuber, you guys can ask those questions. We're going to make sure we run down those at the end of the show. No, it really is a third act problem. Like I got like two of my, I would say like my top two, possibly top three. I'll say my top three favorite movies are probably The Count of Monte Cristo from the early 2000s with Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce. I love that whole movie. The book itself, I've actually been steered away from. I've actually been told that both of the movie iterations were better than the book because the writer just had a lot of long tangents. But The Count of Monte Cristo from the early 2000s, Tombstone.
Mhm.
Obviously Val Kilmer, Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott. I mean, that movie is a damn near masterpiece. And then I gotta throw it out to my boys here, the Boondock Saints, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
good
uh,
picks, choices. Yeah,
oh, dude, those would probably be like my top three. All three of those movies knew what to do in their third act structures. They
They-
knew how to wrap up the plot,
mhm.
and it
It really does help that some of the greatest movies ever are based on books too, because there's at
yeah,
least something there you can move off of. I truly think that one of the biggest problems is, and we see it with that Lord of the Rings show. And I granted I haven't seen season two. I had to. I couldn't even finish season one, but I
mm,
did. I did try to.
I
Um,
didn't even try.
the problem that I was seeing is they're not going off of anything from the books, and they're trying to make their own stuff up, including how to write. They want to write like Tolkien. You can see it in their dialogue, but it's not as deep. It sounds really stupid and dumb, and they don't understand the world. They don't understand what it is. So I truly think that it's not that you can't make movies without good source material behind them. There's some great original films out there, but there's not a ton. There's not a ton. I've seen most of my favorite, like Lord of the Rings, for example. Even though the books are very dry,
Mhm,
they know what to do. They know what to do. But obviously you need a good director and a screenwriter, of
mhm.
course. But some of my favorite films, it just happens to be the case, and it pisses me off. This is why I love stuff like Breaking Bad, which is completely original, unless I find that it's based on a book. Then I'm gonna freaking do terrible things. But I love I love original work because original
What?
work shows me that it can be done. I've lost faith in people not being able to like do something that's original now. I don't see any original stuff, and when it is original, it's just shit nowadays. So yeah, but you're
Ho-
right.
ho- Honestly, and so like one of the things that I do, because my audience is absolutely sick of Hollywood. We're sick of modern entertainment. A lot of my audience, they're indie comic creators, indie writers. I've got some indie film guys in here, and they're just starting out. And don't get me wrong, in the indie world, there's a lot of bad, but there are a few gems. And I would like to think that, and I generally, you're one of the first YouTubers that's kind of outside of the circle that I'm used to working in. Um, but generally, I interview a lot of guys that are doing their own independent comic books, their own independent novels. Like I would just, if you're not familiar with it, the BattleTech world. I just had Blanley Pardoe, who worked on BattleTech for years and is now independent, writing his own stuff. We
Mhm.
just did an interview with him on Monday. I've talked with, I mean, I've sat down with Chuck Dixon, Mike Barron, the guys that wrote some of the most prolific stories ever, guys that wrote the definitive versions of like The Punisher. Um, but they're doing indie stuff and working with indie places now as well, because so many people out there are not looking at or I'm sorry, because so much of the mainstream media just can't write anymore, and they're not looking at good stories or looking to try to finish it out. They're just trying to consume. And independent writers right now are at a spot where they're just like, no, screw it. If they're not going to do it, we're going to do it. And generally, those are the people that I interview. To try to at least do the small part that I can, be like, hey, if you're interested in this, go check it out. And there is some good coming out there, but before it gets a movie or gets a show or whatever, I mean, these are guys that are just starting out, so it's going to be another 10-20 years before any of the indie writers that I'm talking to get any sort of notoriety, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No. I agree. It's the same. Even though I'm not doing any of that stuff right now, like that is a plan of mine. Like I want to make movies, and I don't care if Hollywood won't allow someone like me to get in. I'm doing it no matter what. I don't give a shit. I'm always making creative videos. I'm always making borderline short films here and there. Like it's only a matter of time before I start planning for a feature, which I'm already scripting some feature film ideas. So it's never like the unfortunate thing is you need money and you need talent.
Mhm.
That's the unfortunate thing, and Hollywood has that. They
Um,
do. Unfortunately,
um,
there are other ways to get it for sure.
you're you're kind of correct. There's a guy that I could introduce you to if you're interested in doing this. But Jared Christman released a Western film last year called Missouri Breaks Ballad of Missouri Bill. And as an independent film, uh, I have an idea of the budget he used. He never told me flat out his budget, but I've got an idea of what he spent, and I can tell you right now, it was in these it was not very much, but he got a lot of people who worked with him pro bono, friends of his and people who were just interested, not actors, but they gave it their all. And I think he said the principal shoot was done in like 3 or 4 days,
Wow.
and they had to get it done because the weather was coming in.
Mhm.
And he has been put up and won many independent film festivals. He's been put up for votes in film festivals. So if that's something that you're interested in, I know you're on Discord. Maybe we can add each other as friends or something, and I can DM you.
Yeah,
But I do know people who also I'm friends with the Soska sisters. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Soska sisters. They did American Mary years ago. They're horror girls. They've done some horror movies in the past, and they're now writing comic books with Eric July.
I love.
Um, I know them as well. Like I know a few other people that are working on movies. So if that's something you're interested in, hit me up. Let me know. I will do everything that I can to hook you up with the people that I know who could potentially at least get you some guide, just some guidance on starting.
Mhm.
Because that's what we need. If we're tired of the mainstream media, we shouldn't just be complaining about it on YouTube. We we should be we should be gathering our communities, telling people what we're going to do, starting the process, getting it put together. And the one thing that I'm not a very big YouTuber, but I have some small connections that I'm more than willing to try to help people if I can. So if you're wanting to go for it, dude, I will give you I will do my best to connect you with anybody that I can to help you out.
For sure, man. Sounds good.
So, and it's man, God, it's so interesting. So, I, I want to get back to I want to ask before we continue the conversation and keep going down the rabbit hole of movies, the degradation of movies, the degradation of writing. I did want to ask you because one of the things that you do very differently that I really like, and I kind of touched on this earlier, is you go in and instead of saying this was bad, you go and it sucked and these people don't know how to write. And I'm sure you've seen videos like that on YouTube about you just movie commentators talking about it. You come in and you go, here's how I would fix it, this is how I would write it, this is what I would do, here's the specific circumstances that I would do to correct this issue in the movies. What brought you to that angle? Because that's a very unique thing in this space. That's not something that everybody does. What
Yeah.
what made you want to do that specifically?
It is it is a way for me to do the things I'm passionate about, which is storytelling. And these are stories that I've always, whenever I watch something, there's an egotistical side of me was like, how could I do this better? But it's not even just egotistical. It's like sometimes I genuinely think it could be better. I feel like it could be more quality. There's a lot of people in my space who their content is purely criticism.
Mhm.
There's like a lot of anti-woke YouTubers. I know you made a video about this as well, like the anti-woke content, and now it's a lot of it's going crazy now. And
Yeah.
I don't like to get political in my stuff because it can get a bit toxic if we're going purely political. I like
Oh,
to,
I'm aware.
yeah, I like I get attacked from both sides so much. My lord, it's just
Oh, I do too.
yeah. I get like some of the comments I get, I just don't know how these people exist. I think half of them are AI bots. But when I'm making, I try to come at them from a storytelling angle, not political, not anything like that. I'm like I'm gonna make this better. I don't need to inject politics into my video at all. I don't need to go just become a hater and just
Mhm.
purely roast it. I love roasting things to smithereens, but I believe there's a productive way to make content as well. And I love doing the rewrite videos because that's where I can be creative as well, you know? So I do rewrites in my head all the time. That's the thing. So why don't I just monetize it on YouTube? Why don't I just make content about it? Why don't I spread these ideas to people and see if they agree? Um, so yeah, I think the first rewrite I actually did was an Alien versus Predator, and then maybe it was a Marvel film, and then there was Stranger Things, perhaps, and then Alien Earth, and then there's a bunch of stuff I've done after that. Yeah, I've done a lot of them. I've done a lot of them. So my channel breaks up into tiers. One's like theory, like where I just go crazy and just create the craziest theories. I don't know if people buy it half the time. I don't even know if I buy it half the time, but and then there's rankings where I'll do lists and tiers and all that. And then there's the rewrites. And then I'll review a movie that's trending, you know. Those are kind of like the main categories of content that I occupy in my channel. So the rewrites are a big thing, man. I love them. I enjoy making those videos a lot because I get to do my thing. I love storytelling. I love showing Hollywood how it's done. That's like my favorite way to attack them, is showing that people might like my shit better than them, you know? So yeah.
Dude, that's and what makes me happy is to hear that you have a very similar sentiment to a lot of the indie creators that I have and that I've come to know. And I love that passion. It's like I can do it better.
Yeah.
And I don't need millions of dollars to do it. I just need me.
Mhm.
And that's so fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's
So,
I don't like to say things like, "Oh, I can do it better." I don't like to ever sound like prideful or like, because I honestly I don't know how good I would be in screenwriting. You know, I don't know how I'd be at writing scripts for feature films. I have never produced an actual film, so obviously it's easy to say from my chair. But I just look at the story, the premise, and I'm like, you guys can't come up with a better premise than this. I'm sure you can write the screenplay itself technically better than me, for sure, easily,
mhm.
but I guarantee I will write a 3-act story, just an idea of a story, give it to you, and it will be better than what you have. I don't know what the hell these people are thinking. It's common, like it's producers. Producers are stupid. They don't know anything. They're businessmen. They're not
Yeah.
artists.
No,
But
I agree.
even the writers, I'm like, you guys don't even have a baseline. You know, like
Well,
you're all shit.
three things that need to kind of, and you can pull one way or the other. Like if it's in a triangle, and you can kind of pull one way or the other. But three things that they don't pay attention to are plot. So you can either have a complicated plot, right, or a simple plot. You also have to focus on characters too. Now, if you have a complicated plot and the characters are, because oftentimes in complicated plots, the characters are just being moved by, you can sacrifice a little bit of character for that. If you have a simple plot, you need to have strong characters. But then on top of that too, you need to have pacing. And that's like the triangle that they just don't fucking pay attention to.
Yeah.
That you need to be able to push and pull, and the pacing needs to push and pull the characters and the plot the way that it needs to. The characters need to react to the plot depending on how, and if all of those things are just weak, which it seems they just have been, or too many of those things are too strong, they conflict with each other. There's that diagram that you just go, okay, like what makes a good story? And you could probably break down movies in that triangle, you know.
Yeah.
You can, I mean, you really probably could. I mean, some of my favorite movies are, I mean, I just said The Count of Monte Cristo. That's just a revenge story. That's a very simple plot. Guy gets screwed over by people that he knew, goes back and fucks them over in an interesting way. And the way that that movie was done is all of the characters were super, super strong, and the pacing was really good, but had a weak plot. So, you know, that dot in the middle of the triangle is definitely moved over more towards pacing and character development. You know, Tombstone, again, simple plot. Boondock Saints. Wow, I really like simple plots. I'm starting to realize.
No,
I thought,
I'm completely with you. There's I'm starting to have more of an appreciation for grounded films too, but there's a specific nuance here. There's a reason Tarantino's movies are long as hell. But the reason I can watch them through is because I think he's mastered those three things, the triangle. I don't think a lot of like there are action movies that should be more entertaining on paper to casual audiences and me, but their pacing is garbage. There's nothing about that, and the characters are not interesting. If you can make your characters really interesting, first of all, you've covered a large base for. If you can make that interesting to a large amount of people, if you can make them really funny, charismatic,
Mhm.
even scary a little bit, someone that the audience can't take their eyes off of, you've kind of you can have that character carry your film, even if even if your film has problems. One
Mhm.
character that shines is and movies. The characters are unlikable. They're not interesting. They're all stupid. They make the dumbest, some of the most annoying
I
decisions ever. I don't
oh,
understand why people write the characters like this.
I they a lack of experience. I'm sorry. Good writers have experience in the world, and I I'm sorry. Joss Whedon's humor ruined the fucking MCU. It was it was good in the first Avengers movie,
Yeah.
but my good God, like I will never forget. It was one of the few date nights that my wife and I had when our children were little. We finally got a babysitter. We've had like babysitter like 3 times in our relationship with 4 kids, but which is fine. It's no, we're not complaining. Like I said, we're a homeschool family too, so we love being around our kids. But there's sometimes mom and dad need to go. So go out to dinner. We're like, well, let's go watch a movie. What's in theaters? Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, dude, let's go watch this movie. After all of these years, the like I watched the movie and I'm having a good time because my wife is having a good time and she's leaning over going, "Who is this character?" Now, as everybody on my channel knows, I don't refer to myself as a comic book nerd. I refer to myself as a comic book student. And
Mhm.
I say that very intentionally because I love going and watching like the deep dives and the breakdowns of character histories on YouTube the way that I would watch a history channel. So I'm a comic book student. Like I'd be a history student, right? I'm very much interested in that, but I want people to know like I haven't picked up the comic books and read through all of them and stuff like that, but I'm interested. I'm broke. I don't have the money.
Yeah.
So, we go watch this movie. We watch Thor Ragnarok. We get out of the movie and I'm like, "Yeah, that's not bad." And I'm going to be honest, I think because it was a date night with my wife and I was just having a good time just hanging out with my wife in the theater, totally over. I went to watch that movie later and I was like, the only good thing in Thor Ragnarok is the Thor Hulk fight. That's it. That's and obviously and I believe the story behind the he's a friend from work was there was a Make-A-Wish kid on set and he said that like they put that in the movie and just as a father I'm just like, oh my God, a kid who had something terminal got his line put into a movie. That's the greatest scene of the movie. Thor Ragnarok sucks. It's like an Adam Sandler movie with Thor and Hulk and I'm like, this is not. I didn't sign up for an Adam Sandler movie. I signed up for Thor and Hulk. That movie bothers me to this day.
Yeah. I think I don't have like I don't have as many problems with Thor Ragnarok. I think Thor Love and Thunder took what Thor Ragnarok did
I didn't even watch it.
and maxed it out so hard that everyone felt, because there was a lot of people who liked Thor Ragnarok, even though people had problems with the comedy. I still think the movie is still decent. I think
It's a serviceable plot. It is.
Thor Love and Thunder is not serviceable at all. It's just you're lucky you haven't seen it, because that is I've never wanted to off myself more when watching a
Oh
movie
my
in a theater
God.
like that. Yeah.
Dude, I have a hard stance. I'm not if I know that I'm not, if I can see in the trailers and stuff and based off of like what's coming out in the, with some of the things that the writers are saying or just articles that are coming out about the movie and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to like this." I'm not going to waste my money on it. There's no way in hell. I have 4 kids to raise, dude. You're going to tell me that I'm going to waste my money on something that I don't like? Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
No. And that's why I haven't seen a lot of the movie. And there are people like, "Have you seen this?" No. And they're like, "Dude, it was terrible." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't watch it." you know?
Yeah, I feel like that what you just said there is going to be happening to a lot of people, and not just the people with families, but I think people have lost the incentive to go to the theaters. It's I mean, you could say it started with streaming. That was the death of cinema, but
Mhm.
um, I yeah, just nobody. I think even beyond streaming. people still like to go to the theaters for certain films that are
Oh
really
yeah,
critically acclaimed, right? Like Oppenheimer, Dune 2, these films, like people love them and they made a bunch of
well,
money, but it's
Maverick,
Top Gun, yeah, exactly.
which I still haven't seen.
You haven't? Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, I know. Well, I've got 4 kids, dude. It's hard to get to movies.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need,
I
and then
understand.
I think the streaming platforms that it's been like we also got rid of a lot of our streaming platforms too because we were like, why are we spending all this money?
Yeah,
So we
good.
got
They're
rid
all
of we
most of them
so
yeah,
it makes it hard to go see movies when you're getting rid of all of the ways to go see movies just because we're raising our family. You know what
yeah.
I mean? But it's like, but Top Gun's one of my favorite movies of all time. That would be in my top 5. I love the first Top Gun.
Mhm.
I like my wife had never seen it and I introduced her to Top Gun and she goes, "I wish that movie was an hour and a half longer." And I'm like, "I told you." It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, Top Gun Maverick, Dune 2, Oppenheimer. I mean, Barbie was kind of the mix of Oppenheimer and Barbie together. That was like that marketing campaign. That's why a lot of people sent it, but I think Barbie was a bit different. But I just don't think beyond those movies that everyone loves and they're like, they capture the consensus. They enter the zeitgeist, as they say. You need a movie like that. Otherwise, most movies are bombing now. Like, movies are not like Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure isn't doing as well as they thought in the box office. There was Leo's new movie isn't doing as well as they thought. Like, it bombed. The Rock's movie bombed. There's a lot of him bombed. Like, there's a lot of bombs. Like, horror
Mm.
seems to be the only thing that is coming out alive, because horror, you can have original stories and make it interesting. But like, it just seems like all the big IPs are losing their luster now. Like, Hollywood relies on IPs like crazy, and
Yeah,
MCU is not. And MCU and DC are not giving them the rewards they thought they would. So
I,
I don't know.
I agree. Dude, I saw something horrible the other day. And it just makes me go, please no. They're going to do another Mummy movie
Yeah,
with Brendan Fraser.
yeah, yeah.
I am the type of person that the other thing too, I strongly believe this, as I believe that a story with no end is a story without purpose. I've said this for years. And when you get these franchises that just keep going and going and going and going, it's like, okay, we eventually you're going to lose the plot. Where's the grit? Where's the determination? Where's the like at some point you realize the hero's not going to die because they're the hero. The fun part about the first movie is going, "Oh my god, they might just kill him." That's what was so good about the first John Wick movie. Is you were like, "How is this guy going to get out of this?" And by the time the third one rolls around, you're just like, "Okay, he's just an invincible god at this point." And it's
Yeah.
and I love action movies. That's my bread and butter. I love action movies. The Die Hard, the Die Hard movies up through like 4, 2 kind of sucked. Lethal Weapon, the Rambo movies, obviously First Blood Part 2, First Blood Part 3, Rambo. That's kind of where it stops for me. I love action movies like that, and my good God, they just can't do. And it was said to me the other day, action movies stopped. Like we just
There's
we
not.
went
Yeah.
we just had a dry spell. It's like I remember the Expendables coming out, and then the 2 and 3 sucked. 2 is serviceable. Actually, I will say this: Mel Gibson as the villain in 3 was really good. But then there was just like a dry spell of action movies, and then we got John Wick, and then we got those, and then we just had a dry spell of action movies, and it's like, what are we doing?
Yep. It's I don't know. Again, there's so many things you could do with action films. There was one I saw. Um I don't remember the name. I can't even reference it. But they're trying to do this thing where they're making all action movies like Mr. and Mrs. Smith ripoffs now. I'm noticing this a lot with shows and movies, and I'm just like, stop this shit. It's not interesting. And
It's interesting once, it's not
yeah,
interesting again.
yeah. And
And
I
that's for
yeah,
I
you
would
can, yeah,
I would have watched a Mr. and Mrs. Smith too, only because Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are kind of top tier fucking actors.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and I'll die on that hill. I mean, the reason that movie was as good as it was because
Great.
those two people can act their asses off.
Yeah, they have chemistry in both on screen and real life. Like, you can tell, you can understand why they were together in the first place, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
very noticeable on screen.
Oh yeah. You
But
can tell the looks they were giving each other in some of those scenes. You're just like, oh, that's real.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's funny because action, you can really make original stories with action. Hollywood doesn't want to do that. They don't want to risk it. They want to pump so much money. The action scenes I see now are like Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds on Netflix, where the budget's
Mhm.
overinflated. They're giving the stars way too much money, and obviously you're not going to make the returns you want on that. I don't even know how I don't understand the streaming world at all, because with box office you have a tangible tracking and tangible number. With
Mhm.
streaming, they don't have a box office. They have advertising money coming in. How the hell do they even calculate how profitable these films are? Or do they, which makes me think it's not about that. It's about pumping out as much as we
It
can
it
and grossing the money that way. I don't understand it.
streaming is not a viable. It's just not. It's not viable. It has never been. The only time that streaming was viable was when Netflix was the one-stop shop for it.
Hmm.
Now that all of these platforms are out there, you don't realize it's like your it's no longer viable because the subscriber base is not there for the amount of content that you're producing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a garbage.
And it's like if you look at movies in the box office, how come this movie made a lot of money? I don't know. Maybe because 500 million people took their money and put it down on that one movie. And now it's like, how come Netflix isn't making money? I don't know, because 500 million people are putting in their money on 10,000 different things that Netflix is trying to do.
Yeah.
The math don't math.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And yet they want to sit there and try to tell you that, it's not their problem. It's the audience's problem. And I got fucking sick of hearing that.
Yeah. No. No.
Yeah, you just don't understand why this movie was so good. It's like, no, dude, it was boring. It wasn't good. The plot didn't finish up. Like you said, they don't know how to write a third act anymore, which that just baffles me. It's like, do you guys not think about how you're going to end the story before you start the story? The answer is no.
Yeah, in business, it's always said that the client is right, the customer is
Mhm.
always right. For some reason, for people who are purely businessmen and art's being removed from the equation, it seems like they don't understand that because they blame the audience. They try to piss off the audience on purpose these days. Some of them,
Mhm.
especially in Disney.
Dude.
So I don't understand. It's a contradiction. It's a paradox. They're really stupid. They're mentally ill. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it could be. Like you're coming at this from a pure business angle, but you're not taking the principles of business that matter into account when it comes down to it. So everyone
Yep.
loses. Nobody
Yep.
wins. It's a shit show. This is
Yep.
yeah. Cinema's dying. Like cinema is unfortunately dying. Theaters. I don't know how relevant they're going to be in 20 years. I just see a skew, constant downturn of people, and it doesn't seem like people are going. I watched the three movies in a row where it should have been packed audiences and nobody came, and these movies are like not doing as well as they projected. So what can we say?
I agree. I like I said, I have no want to go see a lot of movies lately because there's just nothing out there that makes me excited to want to go see it. And God, every time I hear we're gonna do a sequel to this franchise, I'm like, just stop doing sequels. You're not good at writing sequels. It already had a sequel. Let the story die. Stop making more. Stop it. A story without end is a story without purpose. I keep beating on that drum, and I'm like, just no, just stop. Every time people and like video games that I love, there are people out there that are like, oh, we need to have a Devil May Cry 6. I'm like, just no, just let it stop. Just stop. They already fucked up Devil May Cry, not with the Netflix anime. They fucked it up with Devil May Cry 5. Well, they've started fucking it up with 4, but that's a whole different rant I could go on.
Mhm.
But it's like just the reason that certain stories are so good and they resonate so well is because there's an end goal in mind. And that's why, and I'm seeing a lot of people in chat talking about anime right now. That's why a lot of anime does well, is because the stories fucking end and people go, cool, sweet, awesome, watched that. Now I can move on to the next story and see something new and see something fresh and something innovative. And that's why I think that's part of the reason that anime does as well as it does. But my good
I also
God.
think I also think in anime their creativity is beyond live action. What people are doing in live action. I saw an anime film yesterday called Deep Blue. I think that came out in the 90s or where and it's having a re-release. My friend told me to watch it, And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is, you can tell a lot of live action films have been inspired by this. In fact, there's a lot of live action movies that I like that rip off a lot of things from anime. Unfortunately, it is the thing to say. It just seems to be the case that unfortunately, anime, there's something there. There's something there that they have that Hollywood does not seem to have right now.
You don't, and if you go back and you look at it, what was so interesting, because I actually looked at this a while back and did a video on it. Didn't do well because I suck at thumbnails and titles. Turns out if your thumbnail and title sucks, you don't get views. But that's okay. That's just me. I'm terrible at it. But I've talked about this many times, and it's so interesting because anime was inspired by the West. Mangas were inspired by American comic books that were left in Japan after World War II. And these Japanese people were picking up these books and going, oh my God, this is great. That's why it started, is because they were inspired by the stories of the West. The creator, I believe, if I'm not wrong, creator of Dragon Ball Z. Chat, I need you to yell at me. Why am I forgetting the creator of Dragon Ball Z's name? Chat, please correct me. But the creator of Dragon Ball Z was inspired by 101 Dalmatians, and then started writing from there. And also, obviously Dragon Ball Z. Toriyama, thank you. Oh my God, I cannot believe I forgot Toriyama's name. Oh, I deserve to be lambasted for that one. But Akira Toriyama was inspired by Disney, which was inspired by the West. And so if you look at where manga was, they were inspired by the best of American creativity at the time. And the Japanese, being very faithful to tradition, just kept with that. And I think that's why anime has kind of outlasted a lot of Western media at this point.
Yeah. I want to make a quick correction. I'm an idiot and I get names wrong all the time. I said Deep Blue, I think, for anime. I meant to say Perfect Blue. I said that.
Perfect.
I really like Perfect Blue. I don't know if there's an anime called Deep Blue. I haven't seen it. My bad. I get names wrong all the time. I'm stupid.
Dude, I'm terrible at it. Nope. Welcome to the club, dude. Cheers to you for getting names wrong. I just forgot the name of the creator of one of of the thing that I grew up on. I grew up on Dragon Ball. Vegeta is right here. That's my Vegeta Blue. I just forgot. So no, I can forgive you on that one.
Yeah.
But don't Google Deep Blue. Oh God. Okay.
I'm going to now.
Don't tell Zaffy not to do it. He'll do it.
I don't listen. There's people who are saying, even in the chat, that anime is going downhill now too. I don't know anything about that, but all I can say is for the older stuff and some of the stuff I'm seeing now, there's stuff like Chainsaw Man that's coming out that I've been recommended. Like, there is a lot of creativity. There's a lot of cool premises. I don't see, and there's one thing I need to mention. Nobody's gonna say this. Well, people will say this, but there are two. Oh my dude, my lens is popping out now. There are two.
I don't know how you wear that. Does that fuck with your vision?
Because it used to with the eye patch. Because my left eye is weak. It's really, really bad. But the problem is when I cover it up, it hurts my head because all the vision needs to go in here. This needs to do a lot of work, and it pains my head. So that's why I put the lens in. It's still a bit weird, but it's manageable now. It's fucks around with my mask from marketing. So there are two movies that I actually enjoyed. One was Caught Stealing. The other one was the recent Leo one battle after another. Both these films are probably divisive with audiences, but they're actually two of the most competently made films I've seen in the last couple months. Mm-hmm. Now, the issue is nobody saw them. Not really. They're both bombed in the box office, I'm pretty sure. But here's the issue. Their trailers were garbage. The trailers for these two films did not make me interested. The only reason I'm a Paul Anderson fan, so that's the only reason I watched the Leo film. And Caught Stealing, I just watched it because my friend said, hey, I have an extra ticket, come through. No one knows how to create trailers for these films. Mm-hmm. The really bad ones know how to create trailers that'll get you. Like some of the ones I didn't like, they had amazing trailers. that were curiosity engaging.
Right.
No, but I don't understand this. I feel like I need to go into the trailer houses, the people who edit this, and slap them all up completely, because I swear I can edit trailers better than these idiots can. There's such an amazing way to edit that Leo film in a
Mhm.
trailer that gets people interested, but they don't want to do it. I don't understand. You market the terrible films really well, but you don't know how to market the great films really well. That's a huge problem, and I truly think a great trailer could make or break a little bit, at least, the box office
Oh
performance.
no, I agree.
Yeah,
Well, because if you look at something, you go, I don't think I want to watch it. Like
yeah.
one, and I heard this from a lot of people. The Dungeons and Dragons movie that they put out a few years back. I heard from a lot of people. They're like, it was enjoyable. They're
I
like, I mean, not the greatest film on the planet, but it was damn good. And they're like, the trailers did it no justice.
Mhm.
And I'm like, really? And I've actually been recommended by, I'm not sure if you're familiar with like Shadiversity or anything, but I know Shadiversity, and I've been on his stream a few times, and he's even told me, he's like, dude, you need to, like, he's like, I would say the D&D movie you watch with your family. He's like, it's a good movie. And I was like, really? They're like, oh yeah. And
Hmm.
they're like, but the marketing did it
Yeah,
no justice.
the trailer was pretty awful. I heard it was
Let's,
great. Like, I heard it was really enjoyable.
yeah,
This movie I definitely will look forward to watching too. Like, I'm always looking for movies I can watch at
yeah,
night. Yeah,
yeah.
like, damn.
No, it's absolutely. Dude, so really quickly before I turn it over to the chat and some of the super chats that we've gotten and some of the questions that I've seen, God, I hope I caught all the questions. The chat's moving, and I'm trying to give you my attention, give the chat my attention. But what's one thing you want to say before we turn it over to the chat for their questions?
Um, One thing I want to say. I mean, don't take life too seriously. There's a the internet is a tense place. The world's a tense place. You got politics is dividing everyone. People are going crazy, and there are problems that are happening in the world that people are right to be passionate about, of course. But um, I believe in something called cosmic insignificance a little bit, and it's really depressing if you look at it from one way. But I like to look at
I know what you're about to go at.
yeah. There's in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to affecting the universe, and I'm taking this from a non-religious angle. Okay, so bear with me, people who are religious and believe everything I'm about to say is a crock of shit. I just mean that. What do I mean? What am I trying to say here? I'm not trying to be nihilistic or anything like that. Life has meaning, but there are certain things that you can approach with just a casual. This is just a casual vibe. Okay,
Mhm.
that's all I'm saying. If you want to go into a debate or a conversation, the best way to go into a debate is in a way where you're going to be the least heated out of everyone there, because you're going to be the person who can see clearly. And I truly believe the way to do that is to detach yourself from the outcome of everything, because ultimately the outcome of everything in that debate or whatever doesn't really affect the grand scheme of things in the universe. You're probably going to forget about that fucking argument in
Mhm.
a week or 2 days. People move on. Time goes on. So it's unfortunate because a lot of people don't want life to just be that way. A lot of people have main character syndrome as well. Don't ever have that, please. It's ruins
Hey,
your.
hey, 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 hey. I didn't invite you here to attack me.
I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. It's just
I
I
get it.
truly feel life exactly. Life is short,
Mhm.
so don't take it too seriously. Take it seriously enough where obviously there are things you can be interested in and passionate about and all that stuff, and there's responsibilities you have as a human being on the planet, of course, towards your family, your community. But at the end of the day, we are there are things that cause a wave, an echo into the universe. Majority of the things you do that you get really angry about and passionate about, heated to the point where you want to insult people or be mean and get into infighting, majority of those things, those decisions that you're making, do not have an impact as big as you think they do. So don't take life too seriously, okay? But stay interested in the things you're interested in. If anyone calls you a nerd or a geek or a weirdo for being passionate about things like anime or who would win between Superman and Sentry in a fight or the Xenomorph and the Predator, just say fuck you and move on. That's it.
Mhm.
That's all I can say.
I get a lot of people that tell me that how dare I watch Death Battle, and I'm like,
It's great. Who
but
cares?
I watch, and when it comes out, dude, I've been watching Death Battle with my oldest daughter because she loves it. That's daddy daughter time. Death Battle comes out, that's daddy daughter time. We're sitting there, we're watching Death Battle. She's asking me about the characters, That's what we do.
See, this is the other thing. This is the one thing I'm so glad you brought this up. People who come at you for doing that stuff are weirdos. People who come at me in the comments saying, "Yo, why are you making videos about this? It's not that serious, it's not that deep." You do realize that everything there's something you care about that I will laugh at as well. Everyone has that thing. It has something on each other. Like everyone who can make fun of you for liking something, there's something they are passionate about obsessively that I would laugh at as well. But I'm not going to because why? Let them be passionate about them. Let someone like if someone likes the weirdest form of anime ever, let him. If it brings them joy, who gives a fuck? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just let people live. That's it.
Yep.
Don't take life seriously. Let people live.
I agree. I agree. And on that note, let's get into some of the questions that you guys have left, questions and super chats. I've been trying to save so the super chats automatically get saved by the program that I use. No, I did not do that intentionally. It's just part of the program. I did try to save all the questions that I saw. So I will do that, but really quickly, let's pull this up here. Hello, A Drink with Crazy and Zaffy. What's going on, Sabian Wilson? All right. Here we've got Addy Vlogs or Gaming. Not sure how I came across your content, Zaff, but I was hooked on your takes, dude. Appreciate your content, man. Oh yeah,
Thanks, man.
that was
Appreciate
yeah, that I also do save non-questions as well. I love Zaffy's channel. He gives something to look forward to every day since my dad passed away last year from lung cancer. Oh my God.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Dude. We'll offer up prayers. Pee-wee, I should show this on screen.
Yeah, I'm glad I
Dude,
was able to help you out with that, man. I can't even imagine that what you've been going through.
that's nuts, man. And I am trying to save the questions that come up here. I'm also reading these questions that were saying, the Ultimate Kahuna for $1.99. Royce, where's your private fun time mask? No, don't put that out there. Don't stop it. No, no. What's wrong with you, good sir? Thank you for
I'm a
the
bad
2 times.
influence. I'm a bad influence on this chat, it
Oh
seems.
my God. Oh, no, you're not. They're being tamed tonight, sadly.
Huh.
my chat is ruthless, dude.
Oh damn.
Oh, Peter Marusk. When you get there, Zaffy, which kind of genre of movie would you make first?
Horror, because it's the easiest to market and get to casual audiences, and it'll be like I love black comedy so much. It's one of my favorite genres. I love it when
Mhm.
movies again, movies that don't take themselves too seriously. I don't know, there's something I love about the comedic aspects of it, but it'll definitely be in the horror route for sure.
That's awesome. The Ultimate Kahuna for $4.99 says, Zaffy, what franchise killed by Hollywood upset you the most? For me, it all sucks, but Star Wars hurt.
Yeah, what franchise?
Which one hurt the most for you that they
I don't know if
removed?
I'd say something hurt. Maybe I guess maybe the Marvel franchise. I don't know if it withered out. It withered out in such a way that it didn't really hurt. It just was like sustained damage over time. The one that was maybe, I mean, James Bond franchise they kind of blew it with those last two movies. I don't know. What else? I just don't. It doesn't count because it's not part of that trilogy. But The Hobbit and The Rings of Power as follow-ups to the Lord of the Rings trilogy are a disgrace. They really are.
I
How it
can
feels
see
like,
that.
even as someone who enjoyed the Desolation of Smaug, the second one, a little bit, they're just pathetic compared to the
Mm.
first few Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Underworld 2 was pretty shit the way they ended that. Yeah.
Yeah. uh, Tim Allen says, Zaffy, have you watched many of the black and white films from the 30s to 50s? Are you a noir, classic horror, or B movie horror fan, or a World War II film fan?
Good question. I haven't seen many of those films. I'm actually trying to have a list of them. My friends and me are actually watching a few together. There's the first film, the first horror film ever made. I forgot the name of it. Damn it! It was just mentioned in my Discord, but that's one, and that was like in the 20s, I believe,
Yeah.
like late 20s. So there's a couple I'm watching. I'm a fan of noir. I'm a fan of neo noir. I'm a fan of classic horror, of course. I am a B movie horror fan. I'm like a fan of all those things. Like even I'm not as much of a fan of World War II films as I am horror in general. Yeah, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of movies, man. I'm a fan of movies. Even romance. There's some romance films that I really like too. They get me. So yeah.
Right. No, dude, I get you. I get you. I probably one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. Heath Ledger, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Nice.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I love that fucking movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a good movie. Rom-com from late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, it's great. I
Uh,
think my favorite rom-com, my favorite romance movie is one with called Before We Go with Chris Evans. Is very underrated. I don't think many people have seen it. There's also Crazy Stupid Love because I'm a big Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling fan, and Emma Stone.
mhm.
I love all three of them. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there.
Goku McDuck. Zaffy, is it okay if I suggest you to Doomcock?
I don't know what that is.
Doomcock is a content creator, Overlord DVD on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure. I mean, yeah, I can check out his content. Yeah.
yeah. Overlord DVD, yeah, is what his. But yeah, Doomcock. I used to watch a lot of his stuff. There's a lot of content creators that I watched for a long time, but they kind of do the same thing over and over. And I was like, I want to watch something different. And so I've kind of my content preferences are very, very different now.
What is Doomcock? Is he like a film guy or a gaming guy or what? Like, what does he do?
It talks about a lot of the comic book movies and things like that.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, Overlord DVD is his channel, I believe.
Overlord DVD.
Yeah. Goku McDuck for I'm not sure what this currency is for $20, whatever that currency is. Is it Mexican currency? I'm not sure. It just says MX. Zaffy, watch the original Saint Seiya 80s anime.
Sure, I'm done. I'm getting more and more into anime now, so we'll pop the Discord link soon, and then you can just suggest. And if you guys want to suggest anything to me, and if you're new to my channel or you haven't been on my Discord, then you can always suggest topics there.
Yep, there is the Discord link right now. I just dropped it in the chat. All right, Tim Allen says, Zaffy, have you ever seen the World War II flick The Great Raid?
I have not. But if you're suggesting it, I'm assuming it's worth seeing, so I will.
Danny Hasho, Zaffy, in an older video, you said that you started a cult as a kid. What was that cult? Oh man, this is deep lore.
I can't get into it very much, for reasons that are for legal reasons. But
whoa, okay, nope,
yeah.
You're fine. You can end it right here if you want to.
Yep, we can move on.
Okay. Yep. Tim Allen. Oh, are you talking about the claymation death battle? No. That was no, the claymation, that wasn't death battle. That was celebrity death match. No, death battle is an ongoing series on YouTube. It's been around for quite a long time. Go search the Death Battle channel. They've got some great matchups. I really love them. I've been watching them for years. Goku McDuck for $20. Again, whatever that currency is. Thank you so much for the $20, dude. I really do appreciate that. Sadly, Death Battle will never do Tintin versus Spyro. Spyro? Do you mean Spyro?
I wouldn't even know.
I wouldn't know. I know. I think. Yeah. Addy Vlogs or Gaming says, Zaff, who's your favorite musical artist these days?
Oh my god. I don't know if I have who do I listen to the most? I have such a wide taste. It just it's like from all the way from like Michael Jackson and George Michael to DMX, Immortal Technique, and Brent Faiyaz, for God's sakes, like Brent Faiyaz. Yeah, those are like Tommy Richmond, Brent Faiyaz, Immortal Technique, Jungle, Chromeo. Those are like the 5 ones I can name right now that I really, really enjoy. I'm a big fan of like funky electric music too, and Daft Punk as well. Like I can always can't get enough of Daft Punk.
There you go. That's fucking legit. Let's see. Goku McDuck again for another $20. Oh my god, dude! Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Zaffy, as you like horror, are you a fan of AVGN?
I don't know what that stands for.
AVGN
I knew
is audio visual. I can't remember the full acronym. Oh, I'm terrible at this.
Is it a type of horror? Is it a type or is it a name of something? I saw Chromie as well once.
No, AVGN or clarify. Goku McDuck, clarify. You don't need to send a super chat, but Goku McDuck, if you're still here, clarify what AVGN is. Guys, if you know what AVGN is, type it in the chat. I've got it pulled up as well. Angry Video Game Nerd. Oh. Angry, that's a content channel on YouTube. Angry Video Game Nerd. Wow, I haven't heard about him in a hot minute.
Angry Video Game Nerd. I have heard of him. I haven't seen any of his content. It feels like for like a decade. It's like same thing with D-Sigs. And I know who you're talking about. I just haven't seen it. I feel like I don't remember seeing a video of his in the last decade. So yeah.
Right. He was really big for a long time. And the last question that we have here for the night, and I'm going to cut it after this. RJ Wilman, do you know Lisa Foyles from Death Battle? I know somebody who knows her, but I don't know. Who do I know? It was somebody that I met briefly, or I met somebody who knows her. They worked on a comic book with her and some stuff. It was really, really, really cool. But yeah, Lisa Foyles from Death Battle. I'm not sure if you know who she is, but they used to do Desk of Death Battle.
Was she like she's one of the
yeah, she was one of the red. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So yeah,
I'm a Death Battle fan, to be honest. Like I haven't seen any of their videos recently, but I was crazy on that stuff before. That and Bat in the Sun. Those are two ones that I really enjoyed. Yeah,
dude, I honestly still love Death Battle. And not only that, what's so cool about Death Battle is they finally they bought their own channel back. It was awesome. It was super
what happened?
Awesome.
Wait, it was sold to somebody or
RJ William? Oh my God, RJ, was that you? Did you propose that on my Comic Shop Wednesday a while back? Sorry. But yeah, no, basically they never owned their own show. It was owned by Screw Attack, and then Screw Attack got bought by Rooster Teeth, and they were just producing the show for these other companies, and then that got bought by Warner and Warner Media, and then Warner Media shut down Rooster Teeth, shut down all of that, and they basically put the money together, bought the rights to Death Battle and all the Death Battle stuff back, and now the guys who created the show and designed it, and the guys who do Wiz and Boomstick now own they own their own thing now. And it's just them now, and they're still killing it. And it's super, super awesome. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into A Drink with Crazy with Zaffy.
We did it.
Oh my God, we did it. Did we do good? Did I do good? Did you do good?
I hope so.
Okay. Chat, did we do good? We're YouTubers. We need you to affirm us. Goku, McDuck, Tintin, and Spyro are European comic book characters. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, Tintin. I think I know Tintin. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh my God, we did great. Oh my God. Oh, thank you guys. So don't leave. We have to leave. I have to go to the bathroom. I've had much beer tonight. I am a drink with crazy after all.
Do I go now?
We rant until the music is over, and we let the chat make fun of us.
All right.
I don't know why they make fun of us, but I've been told that this is what they do when the outro music plays.
I'm gonna have to get used to it if I start screaming.
Right? That this is something that apparently is unique to my channel, because most people play the outro music. I'm the only one that talks over it. And I like it. I remember some old radio hosts that used to do this when I would listen to like radio shows, and I'm making fun of both of you. Oh my God, man, this put a big smile on my heart. Thank you so much, Six. It's good to see everybody. Oh, have a wonderful night. You guys have all been absolutely fantastic. Zaffy, you were a great guest. I would absolutely love to have you back one of these days.
Sure.
And I thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And as always, until next time, cheers, everybody.